I am Krishnakumar, and at this hour we're putting the focus on the dark web, which has been the place for the leaks of everything from India's competitive examinations like NEET to data from BSNL. India's competitive exams have a new threat from the dark web. Recently, the UGC or University Grants Commission National Eligibility Test or NET or NET was cancelled by the government due to integrity concerns. While this is a recent instance, data of around 5.3 million Indian accounts was leaked and put for sale on the dark web in the year 2023 alone. But what exactly is this dark web all about? Let's first take a look at this explainer and then we'll move forward.
NEET and other top exams have a new threat from the darknet. Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan revealed that the UGC-NET exam was also called off as the question paper was leaked on the darknet. But what exactly is the darknet? How is it involved in India's paper leak crisis? We've got you all the answers that you need. Watch it till the end. Can the government track you on the darknet? News 9 Plus decodes. Let's try and understand the basics first. What is darknet? Now, darknet is an encrypted part of the internet not discoverable by the general public. You can't access it through a traditional search engine like Google Chrome. According to investigation, it is the part of the internet where the leaked question paper was found. Now, how does the darknet work? Darknet is accessible only through specialized software. The browser commonly used to access darknet is called Tor, which is short for the onion router. As the name suggests, it has multiple encrypted layers through which the traffic to a website is routed. This helps hide the identity of the visitor as well as the details of the site. An onion domain name for the website measures anonymity. It is almost impossible to trace the geographical location from where these sites are being operated. Now, can someone be tracked on the darknet? Well, it's certainly not easy. Experts believe that the dark web is huge. Only 5 to 10% of the internet is easily accessible. The rest of it is dark web. While finding someone on the darknet is difficult, law enforcement agencies are now monitoring it proactively. They are doing it by thinking like criminals who visit the darknet for illegal activities and interacting with suspected criminals. Well, the road ahead is not easy. The biggest challenge for law enforcement agencies on the darknet is anonymity. Global collaboration is also required to track someone. Now, is using the darknet illegal? Accessing the darknet is not prohibited by law. Not everything that happens on the darknet may necessarily be criminal, but those involved in illegal activities certainly love the anonymity to avoid detection by regulatory bodies. Experts say that the darknet is being used for drugs and human trafficking and even for planning assassinations. Now, it is certainly possible that the darknet is being used by criminals offering illegal services, including the NEET paper leak. The question paper was reportedly leaked on the darknet for 6 lakh rupees.
From question paper leaks to data leaks, it's all on the dark web. What do we do about it? How do we find answers to this difficult question? We have some people helping us do that. We have Mr. Pradeep Gupta, Chairman, Cyber Media Group, joining us on this broadcast. We also have Air Marshal Devesh Vats joining us. We have Dr. Shailesh Kumar, Chief Data Scientist at Reliance Jio, with us. We also have Mr. Shashank Shekhar, Co-Founder, Future Crime Research Foundation, also with us. Thank you all of you for taking time out to be with us. I'm going to begin by asking Mr. Pradeep Gupta a very simple, straightforward question. I mean, the country right now is outraged over the NEET paper leak, but the fact of the matter is that the dark web is not just about paper leaks or data leaks by BSNL. It's a clear and present danger for anybody and everybody, you, me, and all those watching this broadcast.
So yes, it is a danger because it is used for all varieties of illicit activities like, gun running, smuggling, drugs, all variety of things it is used for. Having said that, the reason why it is also not illegal is because there are some good things that the dark web can be used for. All right. So, for example, in very controlled political systems, if you want to have communication channels, you will use the darknet. It was used, for example, in the Arab Spring. So there are some good usages also. You want to have corporate privacy, you will use the dark net. But by and large, I mean, that is maybe perhaps the 15% good part, but the 85% of it is actually a lot of illicit and illegal activities that
Right.
go on the web.
Right. Stay with us. Let me just take this over to Dr. Shailesh Kumar, Chief Data Scientist at Reliance Jio. Dr. Shailesh Kumar, we're talking about this at a time when, we're with 5G having already arrived amongst all of us. But, as, the consumption of data grows, as telecommunications takes the next big leap, dark web is a dark reality that we all have to contend with.
Yes, you're right. And see, by the time the data reaches the dark web, it's already too late in some sense, right? So I think we need to tap this at the source itself. So now at Jio and many other telecom providers, we are working on the next generation security system. So there is very little chance of data leaking out of the system itself, right? And you heard of end-to-end encryption, what WhatsApp uses, but the next generation encryption systems using quantum technology and all that are now going to be deployed in the next generation, telecom systems, internet systems, and all that. So the leakage of data itself becomes harder and harder for criminals and hackers to do. And one of the bigger problems that we are, the world is facing in general is that what we call a data exfiltration problem, right? So they get into your systems, they stay there for a long time, they pretend like normal users, they start taking small amount of data at a time, and after 2 years, companies find out, right, that a lot of their data has been leaked through a CNN report, because the guy who has stolen the data is now calling the news agencies, and it's calling the CEOs of the company that I have your data, I'll put it on darknet if you want to, this is the new form of ransom that has come up, right? And I think we need to solve the problem at the source. We need to increase the quality of our cybersecurity systems so that the data never leaks from those systems and reaches the dark web in the first place.
Right. The problem is clearly not restricted only to BSNL, isn't it, Dr. Shailesh Kumar? The threat of the dark web is only growing with hackers being able to do it consistently again and again and again.
Yeah, so I think, see, how do we solve a crime? We do it at two levels, right? One is we make it very, the punishment has to grow, right? You cannot have a simple punishment for these people, and it's like stealing from a bank. If the punishment is low, the reward is high, people do their trade-offs. So I think technology has its own role to play and make it very, very difficult for people, technologies like AI, blockchain, quantum encryption, and all of that. And this is never going to stop, right? Thefts in banks has been forever. Now data is the new oil, if you will, and thefts in data is going to continue. So I think we just have to keep making sure we are one step ahead of these hackers. And this is going to be like a continuous evolution of, we will evolve, hackers will evolve, we will evolve further, and all of that will happen. So there's a lot of work going on in deploying the latest and greatest technologies to make sure these things don't happen. Policy also has to do its job. We need to make the, hacking and all this paper leak so expensive for the offenders that they don't even think about it, right? So the asymmetric punishment has to be there, and that's what the policy changes that we saw after the paper leak happened. And we're going to see similar policy changes I hope we'll see similar policy changes for other, like bank data leaks and other data leaks, right? So this is a big problem. If we don't curtail it now, the dark web is going to take us to the dark ages, if you will, if we don't solve this problem very soon.
Dr. Shailesh Kumar, stay with us. Let me quickly take this across to Air Marshal Devesh Vats as well. Air Marshal Devesh Vats, the dark web can take us back to the dark ages is the word coming in from Dr. Shailesh Kumar. I want your thoughts on it because it is not just about paper leaks and BSNL. Aadhaar data has been compromised. COVID-19 test data has been compromised. I mean, this is a threat whether you are, a particular telecom customer or taking a particular entrance examination or not.
See, what has been discussed so far is it is the data which is a new oil, and it will be stolen. It will be stolen in future also, because there's a lot of money, if I may say so. The World Economic Forum report, if you read, it talks about the cost of cybercrime will go almost 28 US trillion dollar plus by 2027, which was around 8.44 trillion dollar in 2022. It is going to increase. And as discussed, whatever we see on the surface web, what you call internet is called surface web, it is just 6%. And the 94% is deep and dark web. So this will keep on happening. And generally we talk about cybersecurity to protect our data. But I think this cybersecurity world itself is now historical. And in the current situation, if I may say so, we have to make our system cyber resilient so that anything which happens in your infrastructure continue to give the intended outcome for which you are present in the market. Having said that, this is also going to be past, which we are talking about cyber resilience. The time has come that you have to create a system which is a cyber immune system. And it will happen. Why? Because the AI is helping you in creating something called digital intuition. And what is digital intuition? Your AI will predict what kind of attack will come, how they are getting modified, how these polymorphic malware, which is coming, which is difficult to, check from the normal kind of system, the AI will help you in identifying that. And if you can have that intuitive power with you in a system, so you will be able to find out what kind of attack is coming to you. As rightly said, the guys are sitting in your system and you are not even aware, and they are escalating the privileges and exfiltrating their data. And data in terms of terabytes, it goes. And think about when you will have 5G, where the idea is this key, the latency is almost zero and the speed is high, the bandwidth is more. And then think about when we transfer to 6G, when the speed will be phenomenally high in terms of Tbps, and latency will be almost 0.01 millisecond or nanosecond, you can say. So the data will be exploited at such a fast speed, it will be difficult for the normal system to detect that something is going out of your system. So the things are moving in the direction, as has been said. The emerging technologies have got answers. But having said that, it is not easy with the kind of technology which we have right now, which we have put into our system to protect our data.
Right.
Till that time, we make our system a cyber immune system. That is what I say.
Right.
Nobody, like you're a human being, you have been in childhood, you have been certain injections, certain polio drops. So your body remains immune for certain diseases. So you have to create system which will make it cyber immune system, which is the requirement of the day.
Shashank Shekhar, co-founder of Future Crime Research Foundation. Let me bring this to you now. This crime is not in the future anymore. This crime is in the present, and it keeps happening again and again and again. Hackers seem to be far ahead of the game, as compared to the existing security measures in place, be it a telecom company or any website. Are we looking at a situation where the gap between those who perpetrate this crime, are they too far ahead as compared to efforts to clamp them down?
See, there have been global crackdowns also, but obviously these cyber criminals are much ahead, because they are using technology much better than the law enforcement, and also they can be sitting anywhere in the geography. A united force is required. We have seen that Europol working with FBI and other different law enforcement agencies working together in this crackdown. We saw that in the case of Lockbit ransomware group, where the crackdown was launched and the criminals were arrested. But I see there's definitely a gap, because these cyber criminals are more organized than the law enforcement. And if you see, as you talk about, paper leak and also about the telecom leak, but I must tell your audience that as we speak, London is reeling under a big attack, because hospital services are crippled for last 15 days. In fact, a cancer patient cannot get a treatment in London because there is a ransomware attack there. And similarly, there are different counties in US which are facing water crisis, electric crisis, because there's a constant attack. And why all this is happening? Because there is a data which is available on the dark web, and if you don't pay ransom to them, they will, leak all this important data on the dark web. So it's a global fight, I think, and a global corporate, collaboration is required.
Okay. Global fight. Let me bring this back to Mr. Pradeep Gupta. It might be a global fight, but India is right now ranking 5th in the world in terms of data leaks. That's what the data says. Is there something specifically wrong with India per se? Thankfully, we're not number one. The number one still continues to be the United States of America, and we have 4 other countries ahead of us. But the fact that we're in the top 5 in terms of data leaks is a matter of grave concern, isn't it, Mr. Pradeep Gupta?
Yeah, but it's also because, we are using a lot of digitalization. So, there are processes which are now digital, and therefore we are also a very advanced digital state. And if we are, then obviously we will be affected by these things. And, I would stress the point which was made by one of the panelists earlier, that you have to tackle a lot of these problems at the source. Okay, so yes, it got the paper leak got propagated on the dark web, but we have to see who actually took out the paper, who actually put it together, distributed it amongst different kind of places, because this was the medium which was used, but behind that there is a whole lot of other things that have gone there, and so therefore you have to catch the perpetrators of the crime. And therefore, we need to be careful, at an individual level, that we need to ensure that our data is protected. We need to be careful, with the devices that we use, our mobile phones and our laptops, etc., and ensure that those are properly safeguarded. We then need to take it to the server level and ensure that the servers, etc., that are getting used are adequately protected. So, there are 2 things that are very, very important to tackle this problem, because, you can't wish it away. It will be there. So what you have to do is actually 3 things you have to do. You have to start at the source. You have to ensure that you safeguard a whole lot of information which is put there. Don't put your financial information, personal information, etc., etc. Then the second thing that you need to do is that you need to ensure that there are enough of deterrent which is available in terms of, as was talked about, punishment, and then you need to have a legal system to support that. Unfortunately, even the legal system is very weak to support the kind of activities which are happening today on the dark web. So we need to work on all these things.
Right. Air Marshal Devesh, what's the legal framework at this stage is very, very weak. What can be done at this stage?
See, the cybersecurity policy is now jaded, and when it came, and we have evolved quite a bit, and the technology is always, ahead of the regulators. So it is not that easy what Mr. Gupta was saying. The India is one country which has got almost 1/7 population of the world, and the number is huge, and that's why you may say the data which is being leaked in India is a little higher. But please understand the digital public infrastructure which is in place today. We are proud to say that we have got our Aadhaar card working fine, we have got a UPI system working fine, and today it is it's a proud thing to share with you that this system is working. And now people are asking India to emulate these kind of things, like in Dubai, they are talking about this UPI kind of a system coming into play. So it is not that things are that bad. Yes, that leakage has taken place. And if I talk about United States of America, think about, they lost around almost 2 terabytes of data, and the Chinese were sitting in their system for good about almost 264 days. And they never came to know what is happening, and all the defense suppliers, their data was stolen. And the result is they created a JF-17 aircraft, and 15 years of research went down the drain. And this is what happens. So the more you connect, we are living in a hyper-connected world. Gentlemen, you must understand one thing, and all of us should understand that cyber awareness is very weak. If your maid, if your driver, everybody is having a phone, we have got pervasive devices today, and you buy a device, it gets connected on the internet, and they are not knowing, whether even the learned people are not knowing. You are seeing the cyber fraud where people who are learned, they fall prey to all cyber crimes. What do you think about those people who are illiterate? And the penetration is going high. And in the world, if you see today, almost still, if I say we are 8.1 billion people in the world, and 2.2 billion is still to come on the internet. So this problem of getting, data breach will continue. Only thing is you have to make sure the three things, which are three pillars of cybersecurity when we say people, process, and technology, all have to play a role. When I say people, the guys who are supposed to maintain the system, they have to be very, very clear in their mind what kind of technology they are putting in place, use the technology to the best possible way. And then the guys who are using the technology like me and you, who are using their smartphones, they should know what is the cyber hygiene. They should also be sensitized because there are only two types of people. One who is using the technology, one who is maintaining the system. Like somebody said about the servers, there are plenty of things which can be done. And primary thing which I will say, which everybody should understand very clearly, that there are certain things which you are supposed to do and how you reduce the attack surface. I'm asking you, for example, you have multiple credit cards with you. Why do you need them? You have multiple plastic sitting in your purse. And now the time has come that we have to reduce this attack surface. If you reduce the attack surface, you identify how many devices you are having. So you reduce those digital assets, automatically the threat will be reduced. Then review your asset management policies. Are you aware of how many devices are in the organization which are defunct? The data is lying there and nobody is bothered about that. And you dispose of the data without even removing the data from there. Then eliminate these complexities. They are reduced, unused, redundant, and overly permissive rule. Please remove them. Is strengthening most vulnerable attack points. Conduct an attack surface analysis. Who is doing it? Nobody is doing it. Seek continually. You have to seek what make attack surface, smaller. This effort has to, because look at you, how many bank accounts you have got, how many credit cards you carry.
Point taken. Point taken, Marshal Devesh Vats. Shashank Shekhar, which basically means right now all we are left with is our own vigilance over what information of ours we are putting online. That's all that we are left with right now.
So, as Devesh sir mentioned, obviously it's the onus of individual and organization to maintain their secrecy and privacy. But also, I will give a solution where Indian government has incredibly introduced DPDP Act, which is Digital Personal Data Protection Act, under which there is very heavy fine, which was not earlier. So, in case a data of a company, of a bank, of a telecom provider has leaked online on the dark web, so a huge fine will be there now. And also it's their duty, it's their responsibility to ensure that all the sensitive data they are collecting of their customers are safe. Otherwise, they will have to face the action. And also it's their duty to ensure a data protection officer is there and they are complying to everything. And in case of any breach, they immediately go to CERT in and inform in 6 hours that there is a breach, and then they also go to their customer and inform. I think that's a welcome move, because that is how all the companies, all the SMEs, MSMEs, hospitals, schools, everybody will ensure that the data they are collecting is safe. So I think that's a great measure that Indian government has taken. But obviously, as an organization, as individual, we should be very careful about where we are giving our personal or sensitive data, because when we take a loan, we loosely give all the documents. When we take any credit card or mobile phone connection, we give all Aadhaar, banks, PAN card, everywhere. So we have to be very sure that where we are using this and how this data is being used. So we have to be very sure of that.
We're very sure of that. I'm going to take a quick last comment from Pradeep Gupta, Chairman, Cyber Media Group. Pradeep Gupta, one is strengthening the laws. You have a smile on your face. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, it is indeed if we can reduce our digital devices. But actually, in reality, the digital devices that we use are increasing more and more. Today you are talking about smart homes. Your entire whether it is your air conditioner, television, different devices are all digitally connected. Okay. And there is nothing that somebody can't do to just bring your house to a standstill. And similarly, the house of the government can be brought to a standstill because of more and more digital devices which are today there. So therefore, yes, we should reduce our dependence, but in reality, we will be increasing our dependence on digital devices.
Right. The dark reality is that dark web is a clear and present danger, and the other reality is that our dependence on more and more digital devices will only put us at more risk when it comes to the dark web. I'm afraid we've completely run out of time here. With that, I'm going to thank Pradeep Gupta, Chairman, Cyber Media Group, for being with us. Of course, Air Marshal Devesh Vats for joining us on this broadcast, and Shashank Shekhar, co-founder, Future Crime Research Foundation, for being with us. And with that, it's a wrap here from my side. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishnakumar signing off.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है